and share my screen real quick. All right. Let me minimize this. All right. So welcome again to the Space City Rocket Feed 2021-2022 meeting. This date is wrong. Today is not the 14th. Today is the 21st of September. You know that song, like that one
We
song.
do such a thing as
Yeah.
not change.
I apologize about that, but just know
No,
that
that's
this
all
meeting.
me. That's all me.
No, it's okay. All right. Well, now on the agenda today, we're gonna be talking. Of course, we're gonna give shout outs to a few members today. We're gonna be talking about recruiting. You know, it's coming to a conclusion this Saturday, so we'll talk more about that. And then we have a very, I'll say, it's a little tiny general meeting change that we're gonna be having soon. That's what I'm really excited about. And then, of course, sub team updates. And then we have a new idea that was sparked by Ravi, which is on brand with something I'll discuss after he gives his little slide presentation. So first off, shout outs. I want to give a shout out to this guy named Carlos Soriano. He is the recovery sub team lead. He's been doing a lot of work. His engineering and leading skills have been amazing. All the documentation, his writing, all his reports, everything he's been doing as lead has been great so far. So thank you, Carlos, for that. I call you Fernando. Also, thank you. And then also,
thank you, everyone. Everyone's been so kind. Thank you, guys.
Oh, you definitely deserve it, bro.
Yeah. And then I shout out to Mike and Amy for working on the 30K propulsion motor simulations, and of course everyone on analysis and propulsion for completing that report. It was great. It's very interesting to look at, especially if you're in propulsion or analysis. But of course, everyone else, you can learn a lot of what we do here on the team and what analysis and propulsion are going to be focusing on. And also, everyone here today that's been part of the team for a very, very long time now, for the last year. Thank you for all the hard work and the memories we've made. The reason I'm bringing that up is just because of next week. Next week is when we're gonna have the first meeting with all the new members and so on. So I guess this is the first, the last meeting with just the now old members, the now considered veterans of the team. I know there's new people here too, but to those who've stuck around, I want to thank you so much. And Gustavo and I want to thank you so much for that. Now, Gustavo's going to take it over with some information about fall recruiting.
Yes, sir. So we have concluded in class presentations. We did quite a few of them over the past 2 weeks. And so far, or I guess just in total, 104 people applied. So that's really good. It's a lot of people. So Irvin and I are conducting a lot of interviews, trying to see who we want on the team. 40 so far, and got a little ways to go, but on we go. And the final roster, as Irvin mentioned just a second ago, is going to be on the 25th. So this coming Saturday, we're going to let everybody know kind of who's on the team, who isn't, so on and so forth. And we have a lot coming up that we have planned. We want to have like on-ramping and all that stuff, get all the members up to speed with all the things that are going on and just, involved, I guess you could say. So we're excited about that. Slide, please. And just a few, minor changes, as Irvin mentioned, right here with the with the general meeting. So we want to give a huge shout out to Garrett, who managed to find us a in-person location to have our general meetings. So that's really, really exciting. We want to have people in person contributing, meeting each other face to face. And so that's going to be happening in room 118 in CBB at 7 o'clock. So it's going to be the same time and all that stuff, just in person now. So that's we're still going to have options for everybody to attend virtually if they need to. But we have a room, so we want to use it. It's exciting. I hope you guys are excited too. And that's it. Well, that's starting the 5th of October. So in like 2 weeks, you know, in person. So
Yeah, yeah. I just want to add that there's going to be a lot of new stuff that we want to incorporate on these meetings in person. Um, it's just so much you can do in person that you can't really do on Zoom, and just the energy you can have. I'm just excited. That's all I want to say. I'm really excited for this. Um, but we'll talk more about that specifically next week of what we're going to be doing and what some of the changes in the meetings are going to be like, and like what in person will entail. But sub team updates now. Of course, every week, this is the order we're going to go in. First off, avionics, V, take it away.
Yeah, so this week we worked on selecting a case for the ground station. So me and Joel kind of sat in during lab and we looked through some of the old stuff that Hungerford said that we could use. There's like a little section of old, completely dead electronics that he has towards the back of our section. And, you know, last year Emily mentioned to us that Hungerford's completely fine with us using any of that, any equipment from there, any of the casings that we could potentially use. That's how we have our casing for avionics flight computers. And we found some metal casings there that are potentially built in a very like thin form factor, and which would be an ideal use case to kind of create a design constraint for our ground station, because obviously we don't want that thing to be too big or too small. So kind of deciding like our space constraints and seeing how well we can fit in there, you know, changing if we need to, but kind of at least setting an initial kind of goal so we don't just, you know, add too much, you know, kind of adding these constraints to outline our project a little bit. So we kind of worked on that a little bit. Worked on the flight computer. So, you know, flight computer is heavily sensor based. At the moment, the big part right now is getting those sensors up and running properly. Me and Joel sat down and tried to start tuning with it a little bit. I believe we got to use resistors to tune it. On the not telemetry, I'm sorry, on the Teensy. So that's one of the big things that we want to focus on getting done if we have to do a software tuning again, because last time I tried to do a software tuning, I got readable results temporarily, but they didn't last. They weren't really sustainable. So we'll be going to try and do a hardware tune with this. Joao, during the meeting, got people starting to install on the Teensy Duno, which is the software that we'll be using to interact with everything. So now that most people have gone over the basics, going over quick soldering lessons, the different type of connectors, and kind of the rundown of our COT systems. For any of you who may be on avionics who haven't got to do the entire lectures yet, I'll go over them with you personally. But for the most part, I've gone over it with everyone who's come to lab so far. So we'll get started on actually doing some more SRAD based work. So I had everyone install Teensy Duno to get started on that. Yeah, that's my.
All right. Thank you, V. Let's move on to structures. Haley.
All right, so this week we were able to get into the lab on Friday, pretty much get all of the members familiar with the Dremel, the miter saw, and the drill press, just giving them a chance to get some hands-on work and understand how the tools work before implementing them more in the future. We were able to kind of fix some of our errors from whenever we tried to do the X-winder removal. So that's mostly how we were applying these skills over here. I guess after this, we'll be doing a meeting with avionics and recovery. And so that'll give us more of an idea of what the expectations they need for the airframe. We will be starting documentation for pretty much a concise idea of everything that's expected. Well, not expected, but everything that we're doing to assemble an airframe pretty much and design it, just so that documentation is available in the future. Once we get our new members and everything, I'll be going up to assigning 2 liaisons per sub team to make things easier on everyone if they're not able to keep up with the different sub team that week. You know, that are now Tuesdays 8 to 10 and Fridays 7 to 9. Fridays at 7 are our meeting times, and then after that we're also doing a lab time, just so you know it's kind of easier for us to meet on those 2 days.
Thank you a lot. Oh, 1 second. Did I skip one? No, there we go. Next is Tala. She's going to talk about 30K propulsion.
Okay, so for this week, 30K propulsion mainly focused on two things. First of all, we set up like a little template for, we call it the motor cost deep dive. So basically just to find out what we're getting for our money, what's included in the price that's listed on the vendor's website, and what we're missing and what's not even like sold by that vendor. So for each of our long list, so our 15 motors, we filled out like on this really like the bottom picture right here, there was one of these charts for each of our 15 motors. So we found it was just useful for now, even if we end up still eliminating some of them, just to know like kind of what vendors usually have things on stock and what other vendors that we might have to email back. But the biggest update is that we did work with analysis and they did finish the open rocket simulation. So now we have a short list. So our 15 motors are now down to 3. And so one of each motor class and the finer contenders right here. All 3 are Cicerones. We have the M795, the M5800, and then the O3400. So yeah, we're just going to be narrowing down which one of those 3 in the upcoming weeks. And yeah.
Thank you. Ravi is going to be talking about analysis.
Yeah, so analysis had a pretty good week. We, as Tala just mentioned, helped out 30K Propulsion with their motor simulations. Big shout out to Amy and Mike who took on most of the work for that. If you want to find out more about what we did in the drive within analysis, I believe it's under documentation and then analysis reports, something along those lines. There's a link to the final report that we wrote that we handed over to 30K Propulsion, narrowing down their long list of motors to the 3. And we also last Thursday discussed some onboarding presentation ideas. I had the idea of trying to separate it into 2 sections or 2 different presentations. One talking more about the team history, the background of what's going on, and some expectations I have for members on analysis. And then one cover rocket, some mathematical models, things of that nature. And we also decided to delay RockSim to the spring semester. Our reasoning being we want to focus more on learning NX and FEMAP for now. And since we're already comfortable with Rocket and spending some time in the summer trying to get everyone up to speed on Open Rocket, we don't want to quote unquote waste time with RockSim and learning that while we're still trying to learn NX and FEMAP. We also had the idea of a project or a document where we would create and standardize the unit systems for different technical areas. I know in the past it's been kind of a hot topic or so based on kind of we use whatever unit systems we want, kind of free reign for any area. So if we could get a standard list of what unit system we should use in different definitions, for example, the rocket or the motor diameter listed in millimeters, but we measure apogee in feet. So just making a list of that and making it doing. We also considered, or we also made more progress with NX, and shout out to Omar. He's been grinding on that, and been the 2 creations you can see are of his work. So good work for him. We plan to have that try and quote unquote mastered by this Friday. So just getting the last kind of practice in, and obviously we'll continue to practice even as we venture into FEMAP, but that will be coming up next week along with the onboarding of new members. So big times ahead. Keep the work going.
Good stuff, analysis. Now, Carlos will be talking about recovery.
So last week for recovery, we finished the decision matrix for our proposed designs for the ejection system. And based on that, we will be going with a CO2 primary system and a black powder redundant system for ejection. I actually forgot to put a picture of the CO2 system. It's the CD3 Adventure Kit. You can find it in the recovery meetings. It's there if you want to learn more about it. We also started looking into single bay dual deployment methods. This week, we started off by looking at tender descenders, which is the picture at the bottom there. That's the tender descender, and the picture on top is how the main parachute would be attached to the tender descender and the rest of the cords, which are connected to the frame and to the nose cone. Again, if you want to find more information about the tender descenders, that's what we talked about in the general meeting, the weekly meeting. So you can find more information about that there. We also lab times for recovery, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 to 6:30 p.m. And finally, upcoming is the analysis recovery structures meeting tonight at 8 p.m. We're also going to finish the rest of the trade study by Monday. And we're also gonna start looking, avionics, sorry, not analysis. But you're welcome to join an analysis. We're gonna start looking at the guidelines for the onboarding presentations because we kind of have to start working on that soon. And that's it for recovery.
Thank you. And then lastly but not least, SRAD propulsion. Ozzy, take it away.
Hey guys, thanks. We actually do have some news. So as you can see on the pictures at the right, these pictures were given to us by the Capstone team. They have finally finished the complete manufacturing of their injector plate and injector bell. Some things to note is that they did decide to change, rather than having the design a bit, rather than having a small round circular groove cut into so that they can use an O-ring, they decided to make it flat so that they can use a cork gasket instead so that it can hold up to better pressures. So that's just one cool thing to note. We did meet with them and we did discuss on partnering up with avionics. They're on board and they're hopefully looking to next week or so to discuss their valve control system. We're going to set up a trade study to determine which is the best valve control computer. They had mentioned that they were looking into an Arduino or maybe something a little bit more specialized, something more custom built, since it's not a 100% requirement that they have to completely manufacture the valve control computer themselves. So maybe something more off the shelf. And I do want to start mixing paraffin wax in the lab. It is completely safe. It's basically just candle wax with a little bit of aluminum powder. It doesn't light, so it's not a dangerous chemical to work with. But mixing paraffin wax will help us understand some of and lay the foundation for some of the operating procedures to mixing fuel and as well as molding the fuel grains, and to see how close we can get them to the extra motor liners we have laying around. So those are some of the updates for SRAD propulsion. If any of you guys are interested, I know for a fact that we want to meet up with avionics. So V would probably be talking to you in the next week. But if any of you guys are interested in helping us like in person, especially for fuel mixing and for mainly for propulsion, that'd be a really, really great activity if we get together and just basically model out some procedures to how to mix fuels and how to mold grains. That'd be awesome to get to work with you guys. Also, we do want to go ahead and try to get the order through for the vacuum chamber so that all of the other sub teams can also take advantage of that new tool that we can get into the lab.
All right, thank you, Ozzy. Now Ravi has a new idea. This is kind of just an idea to introduce to the general meetings, to add a couple layers to it. This is not the only idea that we've come up with. So if y'all have any suggestions about things we can add to the general meetings to improve and make them better, just please message us. Please message us and let us know what y'all want. So take it away, Robbie.
Thank you, Irvin. My idea was a sub-team highlights, and this would serve as a optional addition to the sub-team up. And it's mainly to give a chance for the members of each sub-team to speak and give a chance to highlight their own work that they've been working on. And instead of the sub-team lead solely mentioning it, kind of give the members a chance to speak to everyone about what they've been doing. So if a recent task has been completed that may deserve recognition, the associated members who worked with the task can present their own slide or two that takes a closer look at what exactly they did, maybe get a little technical and see what was done or accomplished. But that was just a rough idea. So if you have any thoughts or opinions, I'd love to hear them. Any improvements as well. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ravi. I have a thought or a question about it. How in depth do you think they should go about what they've done?
I think I want to leave it up to them. Obviously not too in depth to where we spend 20 to 30 minutes talking about it. Maybe have, instead of like an objective of how deep they can go, like a time limit for each slide, maybe.
Okay.
I guess it depends on the task at hand and what wants to be highlighted.
Okay. Sounds good. I mean, of course, if you have any questions, let us know. We can add any, like, if it's, and a good idea comes up, we can add it to the presentation. Honestly, anything that's like more engaging, that will be perfect. Of course, you have the like the usual things like the Kahoots and all that, but any other like ideas of like what we can do. This is great because it gives an insight of like stuff we've done throughout the week, or more like in depth of like a member like how what they worked in is great. But of course, I guess next up is slides questions. Does anyone have any questions about anything of the meeting?
I have a question.
Yes.
So my question is for, I guess, Ravi, for the members highlighting their work, would that be for every sub-team? Like, because I feel like if every sub-team did it, every meeting, that would just
It would be a lot.
take too long.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I just said, yeah, you can go.
Okay. My idea was you maybe have like one or two sub teams every week who would have a highlight. I guess it would mainly be in the case where you want to showcase something significant that was done, kind of a big task that you may have been working on for a while, or something you were stuck on that they got through and is worth sharing to the team, just to provide the members a chance for more engagement in the general meetings instead of having the leads do most of the talking.
All right, thank you, Robbie.
I actually think that's a fantastic idea. I think that is going to get a lot of people, I guess, just excited to present what they have to do. And also like maybe even like get people excited about their day-to-day tasks on the team. Because once they get those through, they can like, I guess, present to the rest of the team what they were able to accomplish.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any thoughts on it?
I saw Haley raise their hand. I don't know if it was about the same topic or not.
I was just gonna ask, so the general meetings for AIAA, those are monthly, correct?
Yes.
Is it always the first Thursday?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
That's, I believe that's the plan, but depending on speakers and availability, it may change, but that's the ideal scenario. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was just never sure because I feel like it's always like out of nowhere. We're like, oh, by the way, this Thursday is like the meeting. And I'm like, oh, is that like a normal, like, is it exactly like first, second, or whatever of every month or something? The other thing that I was gonna say was you know, I was gonna ask if y'all wanted to mention the t-shirt designs.
Oh, yeah, the t-shirt design. Hold up. I don't know if I can. Let me do this real fast. So, let's just click here, or let's look it right here. JP mentioned today, and it's also on the Instagram, that the AIAA logo, no more than 4 colors the year, and sponsor logos are supposed to be on a t-shirt design. This is officially for this year, so it's the AIAA t-shirt design. So anyone is welcome to join. It's a competition, so the best design will win. I'm pretty sure maybe JP is here to clarify that. It
He'll
will be
be
a
on
vote.
right now.
Huh? You put him on right now? Okay, let me stop sharing. Let him speak.
Hello?
Hello, JP.
I'm sorry I'm late. Well, not late. I was out for a bit. I was in the meeting, but I just I left for a bit. I was trying to fix my phones real quick, but
It's
anyway.
okay.
Well, did y'all need me to talk about something?
Yeah, we need you to talk about the t-shirt competition and what's that about.
Yeah. So today, AIAA just launched the t-shirt competition that we're hosting. Basically, any AIAA member or anyone that wants to join and then participate has the ability to design a shirt under certain limitations. It's under, when I say limitations, I mean like some requirements to meet. So it's in our Instagram. You can see all the details there on the group me as well, and on the Discord chat and the general or announcements chats. You can see what's going on with and so basically, as a member or individual, you'll be designing a shirt where you need at least the AIAA. It requires this. You need the AIAA logo, our sponsorship logos, the year, which is 2021, 2022, and then no more than 4 colors. Everything, you put all your creativity in this design, basically to, this is the shirt we're gonna wear, and you wanna go for a design that really shows our org, all that we do, it could be your interpretation of the org, but basically something that follows the vision of the IAA, which is raising the awareness of aerospace within just really encompassing that vision on the shirt. That's the deal there. And so yeah, all of that has to be submitted by October 1st. So if you're interested, definitely start designing now. I'm doing my own with my friend Alex. At the moment, we're doing it together. It's a pretty fun project if you're interested in graphic design stuff or art, whatever. So I go for it, so yeah, that's really it for the shirt competition.
Okay. I have a question.
Sure.
So when you mean 4 colors, does that include the actual like overall color of the shirt?
Yeah. So all colors
Okay.
you see on the shirt, when you count up all the colors on the shirt as a whole, and even the base. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Since the color for the AIAA logo is already red and white, so I guess only 2 colors outside of red and white.
You make that black or white depending on the base color. Yeah. And that goes with the sponsorship logos. I mentioned too, the way you get access to those logos, I made a folder and we're going to be putting it on a link tree on the Instagram bio. You'll click on that link and you'll see the link to that Google Drive link where it contains all the logos you need to put on the shirt. Is
Okay.
it allowed? Sorry, there's a question here from Manassas or Mana. Is it allowed to change the logo colors? You effectively are going to either have the logo colors black or white, or whatever color you want, depending on your creativity. Because the AIAA logo, if you haven't seen it, contains 4 colors, so you'd make that black, white, or whatever color, a single color.
And would there be a vote? Or who's
Yes.
choosing and
In
when?
the- all designs will be submitted by October 1st, and then by then we'll be informing you guys later on what the officers will be deciding the top 3 designs. Those top 3, then once we select the top 3, the whole org will be voting on those top 3 designs. Yeah, that's it.
Will it be in the AIAA General Meeting? Or would it just be a link sent?
There'll be a link to vote, and we'll be announcing the winner on a general meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yes, sir.
No words on like pricing yet for the shirts.
Nothing yet. I mean, if you're worried about pricing, like when you're designing, don't. I mean,
No, I mean
Well-
I'm not designing anything. I'm just asking if anyone wants to buy it.
I was thinking general though. As far as like word on pricing, what company we're gonna be using, nothing yet. There's many options. If anything, we'll make sure there's one where the shirt could be like a comfort coat, like the material is good and it's at a good price.
Okay.
We'll try to get it that's not something that's not Gildan. Gildan is, I mean, it's nice. It's a lot of orgs use it, but there's more comfortable shirts than Gildan, and we're gonna try and get something different. Gildan shrinks easy compared to other companies, so we'll be trying to get another company for sure.
All right. Well, that's all we had for today officially. I'm gonna stop the recording, but y'all are welcome to stay by and just chat